Hello, dear friends. This video is about the upcoming full moon, but not only. Not only because there is also another important event which happens at the very same time. So on Wednesday, the 7th of December, a little bit before midnight Eastern Time, in Europe this will already be Thursday, we have a full moon in Gemini Sagittarius, but on top of that, we also have the culmination of the Mars retrograde cycle. The culmination of this cycle is when we have an opposition between Mars retrograde and the Sun. So this is a very rare situation and event when we have a culmination of two different cycles. One is Mars retrograde, which happens once in 2 years. So obviously that's pretty rare. The other one is the full moon, which we have once every month. But imagine what are the chances for those two to happen on the very same day. So culmination of lunar cycle together with culmination of Mars retrograde cycle. Obviously, that's pretty intense and important, and it can bring significant changes. And it can really help us, or at least provide the opportunity for us to move to another level, to switch into something new, to really get out of the current state or phase we are in and to enter into a new space. And of course, I'm not saying that this new space will be only flowers and roses, as we like to say. After all, Mars is still retrograde, and this is only the middle of the cycle. But it's still a pretty big shift. And we may notice how the energy moves in a different way. Our focus, our efforts, everything starts to change. But specifically around this day, so a few days before and after that, the energy is very, very intense. So be mindful, but also try to use this in the best possible way. As we can see, the Sun is on the 17th degree in Sagittarius, and the Moon and Mars are right next to each other on the 17th degree in Gemini. So, of course, the energy of those two signs is very, very accentuated for all of us. And how we can use this combination. First of all, the constructive side. It's always to find the way to balance the two energies, to kind of like navigate and to integrate both of them. How this may look like. Sagittarius is the sign related to our goals, our visions, our desires about the future, our dreams, our philosophy, what we believe in. So I'm getting excited even just by explaining this. So obviously this is pretty important. And the Sun is currently in Sagittarius. So it means that we need to be consciously aware of where we want to be in the future, how we want this to look like for us, what do we believe in, or what we would like to manifest. So those are like the big, juicy, important questions in life. And it doesn't mean that you need to have this all figured out, but pick one. At least pick one. One goal, one big dream, one desire, one thing that you would like to manifest and materialize, and how to make the difference if this is big enough to call this like a dream or a goal. Think of that way. If you were to experience that or to manifest this, would this really change your life? That's it. If for you the answer is yes, it will really change the quality of my life, then this is big enough. So try to have one goal, one vision, one big desire. And on the other side, in order to integrate the Gemini energy, we need to allow ourselves to try new things which are more related to the everyday life. And here it would be very beneficial if you allow your instincts, your intuition to guide you, because the moon is in Gemini. So we definitely need to find the small steps, the everyday actions that will get us to where we want to be in the future. But here you may allow yourself to try new things, to experiment, to listen to your intuition, and most importantly, to make some kind of changes. So that's the best we can do, to integrate both of those. If this is not working well, if we tend to switch only to one of the polarities, we may either live only in the future and not do anything in reality. That's if we recognize more the Sagittarius energy. Or we may focus on small things that are not that significant. We may waste time and energy, and we may not move into the direction that we really want. Or we may just be chaotic and don't go in one direction at all. So integrating those two energies, Sagittarius and Gemini, that's the best we can do. And here comes the next question. How does that work with Mars cycle, with the culmination of Mars retrograde cycle? First of all, we need to pause for a moment. We shouldn't rush things too much. We should take some time and also think about your own willpower. What do you really want to do? How do you want to express yourself, your energy into this world? What would help you to feel more independent, like you are being true to yourself, like you are really, the word that comes to mind is fighting for the things that you want, but maybe we can find a more neutral word, like expressing your desires or following the things that you really want, doing something about the things that you really want. And of course, this is a time when we may feel like we might be self-sabotaging ourselves, or the battle is also within us and outside of us at the same time. And if you have any suppressed emotions, feelings, and frankly, I think we all do, this is a great time to work with them, to focus on the things that you want to let go of, self-sabotaging patterns, or passive-aggressive behavior, or self-aggression, or any unhealthy anger patterns and issues. And focus specifically on the things that you feel are stopping you from moving forward. And this is again always about ourselves. Even if it looks like there is somebody else who's making you mad, irritated, angry, frustrated, upset, you name it, this is a great time to ask yourself, could it be that you are doing the same thing to yourself or in the outside world, or maybe both? And a full moon is always a great time for expanding our self-awareness, for seeing patterns that we were not able to see before, for having more clarity. And in this case, especially when it comes to the actions you take, how you express your willpower, your own desires, and your own actions. And we really have the opportunity to let something go so that we can do something in a different way. We can try something new. Again, Mars is still retrograde until the middle of January. But after the culmination, the energy shifts, and we may notice that we want to do something different, or generally, new things are more important for us. Now, let's also take a look at the energies from the other planets. Neptune plays a major role because Neptune is squaring the full moon. So basically, we have a tau square. And what this means is that we need to be extra careful with some fantasies, illusions, and unrealistic expectations, especially when it comes to some kind of ideas, mental concepts, or beliefs, or visions, or expectations. And it may not be easy, it may actually be sometimes painful, but this is a great time to let those go. And we shouldn't be too detached from reality. Because on the other side, we have also a very supportive energy which comes from Saturn. Saturn will have a sextile with the Sun and trine with the Moon and Mars. So it's much more beneficial for us if we try to stay in touch with reality, connected as much as possible to what is happening around us. And instead of only fantasizing and dreaming about something, to think what we can do in reality, practical, concrete steps. And especially when it comes to steps or actions that you can repeat regularly on a daily basis. Or in other words, to organize some kind of system that will help you to get closer to your dreams and goals. And you may start with one thing. What could be one thing that if you were to repeat every day or every week, it depends on the activity, it will help you to move forward. One very simple and at the same time powerful ideas are planning. Weekly planning, daily planning. And it could be as simple as defining the 3 top things that you need to accomplish this week or this day and just commit to them. Or if you're a fan of more complicated, like project management type of organizing, even better, focus on that. But try to approach things in a very concrete, practical way, and from the point of view of what kind of effort do I need to put. And especially when it comes to activities which will not bring you immediate results. Here we are not going after immediate results because that's more like a Neptune thing. That might be more unrealistic right now because we have Mars retrograde, because it's more about first the awareness, then changing the pattern, then eventually getting the result. So no fast wins probably, but what would be the thing that if you were to repeat it regularly, if you were to commit to it, you know that in the long run it will give you results. That's it. Saturn is our helper here. Another interesting energy is coming from Uranus. Uranus is having a quincunx with the Sun and semi-sextile with the Moon and Mars. So Uranus also provides some insights or realizations or possible changes that we can make. And here the tricky part is to find the balance. So we shouldn't stay only into the old habits. This is Saturn. But we shouldn't also be reckless and try to, like destroy or forget everything in the past and just try to do something new. The answer is somewhere in the middle. So rely on the things that you know are working for you. At the same time, try to change them. Try something new. And don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to innovate something. And most importantly, the awareness, the self-awareness. What else do we have here? So Venus is also quite close to the Sun. We have around 11 degrees between the Sun and Venus. So it's nice to focus on your own values. What is important personally for you? What brings you a nice feeling? What makes you feel fulfilled? What do you really love doing? And here it's interesting that we have a square between Venus and Jupiter. And what that means is that we may need to make choices. And what is considered to be social values or something popular may not be in alignment with what we really want right now or what our personal values are. And I think that we need to focus more on trusting or staying true to our own values and desires, even if it means that we won't be so popular or it's not what everybody else wants, but to recognize your own desires, to commit to them, to become consciously aware of them and to respect them. That's a very beneficial strategy right now. Something very interesting is that Jupiter is having a biceptile with the Sun. The biceptile is a very rare, very special aspect. You may or may not know it. Not one of the most popular ones, yes. It's a karmic aspect and it's kind of one of a kind, septile and biceptile. And this is a very spiritual aspect, an aspect which can kind of like open a very specific door for us. We need to be very open-minded, prepared, ready for this. So nobody will force you to grow spiritually. You can bet that nobody will do this. But there could be a little door which is open for you right now. And whether you will get through this door into something new, something unknown, it will depend on you. Nobody will force you. But there could be interesting opportunities for self-expression, for self-development, and also for feeling like you are growing, to do something that will bring you this sense of expansion and personal growth. That's what the Sun and Jupiter together can bring you. But again, it won't be in a very obvious, clear way. It's a little hidden only for those who are searching for this and who are prepared for this. But I think the rewards might be pretty amazing. So, very interesting, very intense full moon together with culmination of Mars retrograde cycle. The whole configuration of the planets, the pattern, the astrology pattern, is something which we call bow configuration. And this is also an intense one and a configuration which requires the need or brings the need to work with our shadow. The things that we don't want to see, we don't want to admit, we pretend they're not who we are, but at the same time, by suppressing this part of us, we are also stopping ourselves from full expression. Or in other words, there are some beneficial qualities, strengths, abilities, potential, which is also unrecognized because we don't want to recognize the shadow. So any type of work that can allow you to get closer to your shadow, to integrate it, to find those hidden parts of you, now is just amazing time to do this type of work. So I'm pretty excited, and I think that this is a great time to really grow and expand and to learn some lessons. After all, one of the most important things for Gemini and Sagittarius, this is the ability to learn. And we're all students in this amazing life or world, university and universe. Yes, both can apply. And yeah, now we can focus on the lessons that we want to learn, how we can grow, how we can become better people. And everybody may find their own wisdom. This is also pretty big. So that was the most important I wanted to share with you. Please let me know in the comments how you feel, what you are most excited about, or if you have any questions. And of course, if you want to receive more clarity or deeper understanding, you can check my astrology readings. There are special options now for 2023 prediction. And of course, if you want to dig deeper and also transform and change some of those patterns or open up to new resources and opportunities, the GSR sessions are the best thing you can do for yourself. So go to my website or check the links below. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy full moon.